Hey YouTube and wrestling fans, this is Old School Ted 1 with you on Monday for my Bryan Danielson preview for what may happen tonight or tomorrow night, and just what's been happening over the past weekend. Now, by now, most of you have probably heard the rumor. I'd say the biggest, well, not as much rumor, but possible prediction of having Bret Hart tonight for his match against Miz call out Bryan Danielson to stand in for him due to his injuries. Because physically, from what I've read and from what I've been able to find, Bret Hart doesn't have a match left in him. We saw that at last WrestleMania, and what he can do now is what we've been seeing him do, which is come out and cut spots and kind of help the younger guys get over. Now, that leads to the next question is, what will WWE do? Now, fans want this. Fans want this a lot. Fans want this in a way that I don't think a lot of fans have wanted in a while. Now, let me identify fans. Probably the internet fans, the people who know who Bryan Danielson is, folks that have been watching him for 8 years, 10 years, or his career, I should say. I think it's 10 years. Or those who've just got into him because of NXT and have looked up what he's done in the past. I'm proud to say I've helped a couple of my friends and wrestling fans do that. Look up who Bryan Danielson was, show him matches against Gibson, Nigel McGuiness, Samoa Joe, CM Punk. Some people they know, some people they don't, but they can see good wrestling. They know what this is. Even one of my MMA friends said that this is the closest to a wrestler that he would actually like to see because of Bryan Danielson's style. Now that being said, we go back to what will WWE do? Do they one, give us what we want and have him on the show tonight? Now, they could string it out and say, well, do it next week or at a pay-per-view, but they've got that thing for the unified title coming up against the Hart Dynasty at the next pay-per-view. So that wouldn't quite work unless they're going to have Miz wrestle 2 matches. Well, possibility, but not something too much. The second thing they could do, number 2, would be to do a screw job. They hint at him and then they don't give it. And I don't think that would work because it would irritate the fans in a way that I don't. WWE likes messing with the smart marks, with the more in-depth fans, the fans that have been watching for longer, the internet-savvy fans and such. They like messing with them, but I don't know if they would do that. I really don't think, I can't see them doing that. The third thing would be to have the maybe this is a way to get him back into NXT. Saying if you beat me, I've got a contract that gets you back in NXT, and the powers that be. Because remember, the way he got fired was that the powers that be let him go. Sorry, I'm fighting off a cold here. They let him go. He wasn't voted off because he didn't show enough desire. Well, he could wrestle a match against Miz, or even just come out and do a beatdown or run in something, and they could change their mind and say, hey, we're going to bring you back. That's an idea. Because NXT is kind of going to be empty without him being around, and the Miz around, in all fairness. But you also have other options, other things that are possible that they could do. One of them being the Hart, the Dragon in the Heart, as I saw one person post it up as. And I think that would be cool. I think that would be something, that would probably be the best way to get, and I would get most fans over. But the other ways that they could bring him back could bring back Tarver and Sheffield. I know some fans aren't the biggest thing. I know Sheffield seemed a bit incoherent near the end of his statement when he got eliminated about being misguided and then all that stuff. But they would make a good stable. You'd have the veteran leading it, the intelligent wrestler, the technical wrestler, and Bryan Danielson. You'd have the crazy guy, if you will, Tarver, and then you have the big man in Sheffield. Not that Tarver's a small guy, but Sheffield's just massive. They could do a run-in, they could do a beatdown. Now, the reason that I'm wondering about this is something that WWE put on their website. They actually had sort of final comments from the competitors, and they actually, the last few sentences said, This is Bryan Danielson talking. He said, Daniel Bryan was all right. He was a good guy. He was a nice, friendly, you know. Bryan Danielson is a little bit meaner. He's got more of a dark side, so we'll see. Does this mean a heel turn? Does this mean maybe mean an attack? I could see them, this sort of mini faction attacking Primo and Carlito, because if any of you saw the Superstars, when Carlito got together with Primo again, Tarver wasn't at all happy about it. He was kind of confused that he didn't give him a beatdown. So he could argue that Carlito set him up. Um, there's a lot of things they could do. The important thing is to look for is some sort of Bryan Danielson presence. And I wouldn't doubt if someone were to say, hey, Daniel Bryan, and have him correct them. No, I'm Bryan Danielson. Because if you've ever seen a Bryan Danielson match, it is a lot different than what Daniel Bryan did. And Daniel Bryan did pretty well, all things considered. His match against Batista, his match against Jericho, they weren't bad matches. Even his match against Steven Regal for a stiff, quick match wasn't bad. But look for that correction, and then hopefully Buzz Aldrin will do something. If not, Bret Hart. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting. It's going to be an interesting night. Tell wrestling fans definitely tune in. I'm going to have to tape it because I'm in the middle of writing papers for the end of grad school. But more importantly, just look for those key factors. And if they don't have to answer all the questions, they just have to bring him on. Even if it's an attack, even if it's Bret Hart coming out there and then Bryan Danielson come charging out and Miz running for the heels. Some sort of sign that he is a presence. Even afterwards, the Miz can scream that he's not even hired, he should be arrested. You can think of all the scenarios. But right now, that's the key thing to look for. If he's on tonight, and it's definitively that he's on tonight, I may do another video tomorrow. Actually, I won't be able to. Actually, sorry about that. So the next video I'll be doing is sort of the overview of the Bryan Danielson show, if you will, program. But we will. I'll also do a review of NXT, and those will both be on Wednesday, probably in the AM Pacific Standard Time, hopefully. But until then, just keep an eye out, and hopefully we'll see Bryan Danielson tonight. Till then, old school Ted, take it easy.